In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. This is the second part of word formation, chapter 5, that I am going to talk about today. Earlier last week, we talked about word formation, we talked about neologism and etymology, borrowing and compounding, and clipping, and today we are going to continue with the discussion of conversion. What is conversion? In order for you to understand the nature of conversion, you have to go to page 63, line 1 and 2. Okay, a change in the function of a word. As for example, when a noun comes to be used as a verb without any reduction, is generally known as a conversion. Okay, so what do? We change the function of the word. The function of a word might be a noun, a verb, etc. So if it is a noun, we change it to the verb, and if it is the verb, we change it to the noun, etc. This is called conversion. Well, for example, if you actually go to line 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, you can find examples like butter, bottle, butter, chair, okay, and vacation, line 4, okay. Well, what happens here? Generally, we use the word bottle as a noun. A bottle of, let's say, Coca. A bottle of, let's say, I don't know, drink, okay. We use the word butter again in the similar way. So we go to the supermarket and buy some butter, okay? Or a chair, it is a noun, okay? How come if we actually use these words as a verb? Is it possible? Conversion says yes. Conversion says yes. So you change in fact, the function of a word, okay, the category of a word from noun to a verb. So how do you see? Look at these examples. Line 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Have you buttered the toast? You look at here. Have you buttered the toast? Okay. Or the previous example. The previous example is this: we bottled the home brew last night. So we made some kind of drink and we put it in the bottle, okay, like that. So we say words like bottle, words like, let's say, butter, are originally nouns, but we can change them into verbs as well and use in these sentences. Again, the third example is here. They are vacationing in Florida, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, line 6. They are vacationing in Florida. They are vacationing in the north of Iran. They are vacationing in Mashhad. Okay? What does it mean? Well, when you look at the word vacation, you see it is a noun. Vacation. It's a noun. Okay? Vacation. When you don't go to work, it's a vacation. Okay? But now it is used as a verb. That's why we have added ing to the end of it. So there are two types of vacation: a noun, and also here as a verb. We call this as conversion. Okay? So when a noun is used as a verb, or a verb is used as a noun, etc., etc., they are instances of conversion. Well, let us go to some other examples here. Okay, look, dust, okay, it's a noun, but here in this sentence it is used as a verb. Did you dust the living room? Okay, in Iran, in Iraq, actually we have dust here and there, and we have to in fact dust our living rooms because we have so much dust here. Okay, the next one is glue. Glue is a verb. Okay? Glue is a noun, excuse me. Glue is a noun. Now we use I have to glue it together. As I use it as a verb. Okay, or the last example is very nice. Water is a noun. What would you water my plants? Would you water my plants? I've used as a verb here. Okay, so it is called conversion. Type 2 is when type 2 and other types are in fact like this. We change a verb to a noun, as these examples again to the right can say, well, to cheat, he is a cheat. Well, to doubt, we have some doubts. See what happens here. When you say to cheat, it is a verb, but we use it as a noun. He is a cheat. He is a cheat. Okay? Like this. Or to doubt. To doubt is a verb, but we use it as we have some doubts. Okay? And handout, used as handout as a noun. Or hire, to hire means a verb. Okay? And we use as a noun. We have 2 new hires, okay, as a noun. So these are examples and other examples on conversion. Okay, the next one on the next page, I suppose it's page 64. 64 is coinage. Coinage. What is coinage? We simply make words. We simply make words. Examples, look, go to line 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I suppose you can find it this way, but you have to go to your own book because it's not so clear for you, as you actually cannot see it on your, in fact, shashat, okay, shashat, okay. Well, aspirin, nylon, Vaseline, zipper. Well, when they made something like a kind of medicine, they called it aspirin. When they made something like nylon, they called this kind of thing as nylon. Okay, they made one vocabulary for it. And we have Vaseline and zipper. Other examples are granola, Kleenex, Teflon, and Xerox. Okay, see. Xerox is the name, a brand of a, in fact, kind of office machines, okay, like photocopier, like scanner, etc. could be called a Xerox, okay? But we now use a Xerox in English as a noun when we want to have some tasweer, okay? We want to make a copy of something. Similarly, in our kitchen we have Teflon ware. In our kitchen we have Teflon ware, okay? So how did they make this word? The line after it says that it's a kind of something in chemistry, in chemia, they call it tetrafluoran. Tetrafluoran. So they take this tetrafluoran, which is so big, and made the word Teflon. And very good example is this guy Kleenex. I suppose in Iraq as well, we can use the word Kleenex as, in fact, paper tissue, okay? Well, this word Kleenex comes from the word clean. Well, all in all, what happens here? Well, we have something like coinage. When we coin, we make a special kind of vocabulary. And a very good example is here. Let us see, where can I find the word Google? Yes. Well, Google is something like this. The number 1 followed by 100 zeros. You have 1 and 100 zeros in front. Okay? This is Google. Google. But suppose we have the Google. Google. What happens here? We make the word Google. The word Google here, okay, with capital G, okay, with capital G, as the name of a site. We made it. So it's a kind of coinage, as you see out here. Okay, this is number type 2. Well, within type 2, when we coin something, it is possible to put letters together to make new words, as we call them as acronyms. Line 2. Look, when we made the word CD, you know what CD is. Computers need CD, especially in the past, about 5-10 years ago. Okay, CD. What is a CD? It's comes from compact disc. You see the first letter of C, compact, and the first letter of disc is used as a CD. Okay, as easy as that. So we have CD as a compact disc. CD is smaller, compact disc is bigger. We need smaller ones. Or SPCA, Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Okay? So it's like this. So acronyms are the first letters of, in fact, a phrase or something bigger. Okay? When we take them as a kind of vocabulary, and it's very in fact, common in English. Other examples appear on line 4. If you actually go to this discussion, NATO, NASA, UNESCO. What is NATO? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. What is NASA? Well, it actually comes from NASA, National Air and Space Organization. National Air and Space Organization. What about the next one? UNESCO. Is it really an abbreviation? An acronym? Yes, it is. Why? United Nations Economic, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. We take all these things together to make a very nice little vocabulary called UNESCO. Okay? So these are called acronyms. But now there are two types of acronyms. Sometimes we are bound to read them one letter after another. Like, well, when you say a PDF, you say P, the letter P, the letter D, and the letter F. What do? We simply read one letter after another. Okay, this is one type, like CD on line 2, PDF, my example. Okay, but sometimes it is nicer when you see that it's easy for us to read it. It's easy for us to read it without letter by letter, as one single word. Well, CD is one type. Well, let's go to, laser. I can find laser on line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 6. Laser. Laser. I don't say laser. I say laser. That's one single word. This is type 2. When I can see as a special type of word without saying laser. Line. 2 line. Okay? So, what is it? Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So when we say the word laser, we mean light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Now we have got a very nice and cozy kind of vocabulary called laser. Other examples of this type are, well, back to the example, line 4, our examples that just we repeated. We actually went past, they are NATO, NASA, and UNESCO are of this type. Why? Because we don't read letter by letter. Okay? Well, and there are other examples that you can see here on the next paragraph, like zip, and this paragraph, zip, scuba, etc. SIM card, etc. Have a good look at these parts. Okay, just go and see what happens here. And names for organizations sometimes are like this. And in Iran, sometimes names for different types of processes that we have in banks. Okay? Well, in banks, we can have systems like, well, let's say Shah Parak in Iran, which is a short abbreviation. I don't know. Let's say Satna is another one in Iran, etc., etc. Well, because they are Iranian, I don't want to, in fact, concentrate on them. But I suppose you can find in your own language as well. If you can find, I will be at your service to, in fact, see what is that. Okay. Well, the next one is derivation. What is derivation? Derivation is the addition of prefixes and suffixes. As easy as that. As easy as that. Derivation. We derive a special type of vocabulary. We make a special kind of vocabulary. Okay? How? Using prefixes and suffixes. Well, you actually go to the last line. You can see unhappy with un added to happy. Misrepresent with mis is added to the word represent. And prejudge. Pre is added to judge. And joyful. Okay? Full is added to joy. Careless. Okay? less is added to the word care, etc., etc. Sometimes we have both prefixes and suffixes, a pair of prefixes, a pair of suffixes added to the word. So it is not to say that we have something like only prefixes. No, only suffixes. No, we can have combinations. Okay, so prefixes and suffixes. Well, let's see, we can have other examples here as well. Yes, no, you can find. Yes, I just found one. Disrespectful, page 65. The discussion, prefix and suffixes, 3 lines to the bottom. Disrespectful. This is added to the beginning. Full is added to the end of the word respect. Okay? My own examples are not like this. I have got a very easier example for you. I'm not going to, in fact, look at the book and say things like that. So, take the word act. You can have IVE to the end to have active. Okay? You can have ity to the end, activity. I can have something like trans at the beginning to have transact. I can add something else to have transaction. Okay? And I can have transactional. And I can have transactionally. So we take one example like act and add prefixes and suffixes to this. Well, remember, prefixes and suffixes together make something called affixes. When we say affixes, we mean both prefixes and suffixes. And of course, for other languages, we have infixes. So when we say affixes, it is something like prefixes. Pre means before. So we add it to before the verb, a noun, a word. Or suffixes. Sa is added because it is the end of it. Okay? Infixes in at the beginning, in the beginning of this word shows that it is inside something. For some languages it is infixes, but because in English we do not have, in Arabic we do not have, we say that infixes are different in other languages. One examples are like this. For example, we see the word see on the list below. We add rn to the beginning, which is an infix, not a prefix, not a suffix, in other languages. Well, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. The language is spoken in Laos and Vietnam. Anyway, you don't need the infixes, but you have to know. You have to know that we have got something like infixes. Well, back to the last part. Let's go to the last part, which is a combination process called multiple processes. Multiple processes. What does it mean? When you do 2 or 3 things at the same time, you have multiple processes. So multiple processes, page 66, doesn't say anything special. It's only to say that sometimes we have other words as well. The example, I suppose it's night. Where can I find the word snowball? Yes, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have the word snowball. Snowball. What is a snow? You know, snow is something like thalja, okay, thalja, okay, and ball, you know, kura, okay. So snowball. What is a snowball? I know kuratul qadam. What is this snowball? Well, when there is snow, when it is snowing, when the land is covered or blanketed with the snow, as in Iran, especially the southern parts. So of course in Gaul we have snow, but around Qom we can have more snow than Qom. Well, anyway, well, snow is something white, and as you see, well, what happens when we have something like a snowball? Well, it's like this. Children, when are playing with the snow, of course it's cold, and they try to have something like gloves when they, in fact, play with the snow. But actually you can play with it, and after that you go and dry your hands and warm your hands, of course. Snowballs, actually children are like this, that they play and make one ball of snow, okay, and they roll this ball of snow on the land. What happens? When they roll it on the land, it becomes bigger and bigger, okay? If you are somewhere like on the top of a hill and make something like this, and you make something like this, like a snowball, it goes down and down and makes it bigger and bigger and bigger up to the time it goes down and falls apart, okay? So what happens? When there's something, in English vocabulary, we say there's snowball, we mean there's a kind of project, and the project has got problems, and the problems are like the snowball. Each time they go around on the ground, they make bigger and bigger the size. So with the project, we have the bigger problems. So when say something like the snow problems with the, well, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we say something like problems with the project that have snowballed, it means something like this. At first we had some problems, but as we continued with the project, it became bigger and bigger. Back here through multiple processes. What does it mean? When we make something like, when we make a project, when we make something like a snowball, we have done 2 things at the same time. Number 1, we have put the word snow next to the word ball to make a compounding like a snowball. This is one process. Now we have used the snowball in let's say English as a verb. So we have the process of changing it from noun to the verb. This is another process. This is conversion. So the word snowball is a combination of 2 processes. Number 1, compounding by making snow and ball. Number 2, conversion, making a noun out of this in fact combination. Okay, this is multiple processes. Well, just go and find what we mean for, in fact, this word, and share your ideas on your, in fact, WhatsApp page with me and with all other students. What do we mean by this word? What is the word? COVID-19. Is it something like multiple process or not? I am waiting to receive your answers. Is it a multiple process? Why do we call COVID-19 as COVID-19? Okay, is it a multiple process? If yes, what are the processes involved in the formation of this COVID-19? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can go to the exercises on page 67 and 68. Okay, well, what are the exercises? These are study questions. Go to the study questions on page 67 and 68. Well, everybody, it is a kind of exercise for everybody. It's a kind of homework for everybody. It's a kind of assignment for everybody. So you go simply and find the answers 1 to 12, okay, and write them on your, in fact, Microsoft Office Word. Okay, you type it in Microsoft Office Word, and you can change it to, let's say, a PDF if you want. So you are going to have an exercise. I'm going to put it in the Moge of the university, in the website of the university, and everybody is allowed to, in fact, put his homework or her homework on the Moge. Okay? I suppose you can write it with something like PowerPoint. So there are 3 possibilities for you. One is Microsoft Word. Number 2 is Microsoft PowerPoint. Number 3 is the PDF. It depends on you. But don't take photos because it takes a lot of, in fact, space for you and a lot of, in fact, things for you. So forget about writing down and taking a photo to send to the Moge. Okay? Thank you very much. I am waiting for you to receive your good suggestions, good, in fact, ideas about pages 67 and 68 up to end of number 12, the beginning of the next one as a task. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm done with it, and you are going to. Thank you very much. Bye.